says, I'm looking for a religious man to marry. Then Sister Hazel, what are the indications should I look for? Well, religious commitment, of course, isn't only about offering the ritualistic acts such as praying and fasting and going for Hajj and so on. Most importantly, if the person is putting into these religious practices and acts of worship into practice, so that these acts of worship reflect on his behavior, on his akhlaq, on his truthfulness, honesty and trustworthiness, and his temper. So if the person is behaving accordingly, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّ الصَّلَاةَ تَنْهَى عَنِ الْفَحْشَاءِ وَالْمُنْكَرِ. Most surely the prayer prevents the person from indulging into illicit acts and evil. It prevents the person from committing sins, okay, all kind of sins. Umar ibn Khattab radiyallahu anh said in an incident, when he heard somebody recommending another person to a third person, when saying that he's good, I trust him, I voucher for his credibility. So he asked the person who was making the recommendation, he said, do you know him, the person whom you're recommending? He said, yes. He said, did you travel with him? He said, no. He said, is he your neighbor? He said, no. He said, did you do business with him? Did you deal with him in business? He said, not that either. He said, then you do not really know him. Perhaps you have seen him going to the masjid. That is not sufficient. Because of that, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said in the hadith which answers your question straightforwardly, إِذَا جَاءَكُم مَّن تَرْضَوْنَ دِينَهُ وَأَمَانَتَهُ فَزَوِّجُوا. If one proposes to you whom you trust his deen, which refers to the religious commitment, alhamdulillah, he prays on time, he looks like a practicing Muslim with grown beard and so on, and he doesn't smoke, and meanwhile he has good akhlaq. وَأَمَانَتَهُ, the second component of the criterion of the good person, whom you should say yes and give a check sign. You should not hesitate to give him your daughter in marriage, and the girl should not refuse. Why? Obviously, these components, besides the qabul or acceptance, like the girl looks at him and says, yeah, he's handsome, I like him, he's tall enough, he's slim, he's whatever her desire. But the most important components, religious commitment and the amana. And the amana is trustworthiness, honesty. If you find somebody with a prayer mark, which is covering his forehead, the whole forehead, mashallah, and what do you do for a living, son? Well, I work in this bank. Oh, it's a conventional bank. You know that this is haram. I know, but you know, a lot of people say it's halal, and in addition to, I can't find any alternative. So he's taking it easy. He's belittling this kind of work. So, yeah, his religious commitment did not really influence his behavior. Thank you so much. Maybe you can look for another girl. That would be my response to any person who would ask for my daughter's hand, inshallah, when she grows up. Why? Because by the end, the person does not mind eating from haram, feeding my daughter from haram, raising his children from haram. This whole family will be messed up. Future is guaranteed, trust me. Just the past few days, I have been looking at certain people with the prayer mark covering their forehead. And they're so wicked. They're so corrupt. They accept bribery. Their salaries would not be enough for them to just to survive. How were they able to purchase the latest car, the year model, and a villa here, and a house there? Bribery. Okay. So the prayer mark is a part of the routine, a part of the business. I don't care. There are a lot of people who pray and their prayer would not be accepted, would not be elevated one handful above their heads. إِذَا جَاءَكُم مَّن تَرْضَوْنَ دِينَهُ وَأَمَانَتَهُ. Religious commitment and the amana. I may get somebody who just prays the fard and he's too occupied either studying or teaching, but the man is honest. The man is truthful. The man knows halal and haram, and he's very pious in this regard. Yeah, I would like to give him my daughter in marriage. Not only that, I would ask him to marry my daughter. Barakallahu feekum.
Huda TV's social media sites are the best way to contact us from anywhere around the world. Stay connected with Huda TV's latest news and programs through Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, Skype, and Instagram. It's fast and easy. Stay up to date with your favorite shows and scholars today. Huda TV, a light in every home.